Yesterday I was listening to the Joe Rogan Experience where he was talking to this character named Andrew Yang who's running for president. And the big thing that Andrew Yang is running on, I doubt he'll be successful. He doesn't really seem to have the name recognition, although as we saw with Bernie, if you get that internet hype behind you with the young cool kids, then you might have a shot. But Andrew Yang's big thing is universal basic income. Universal basic income. This has been notice this has been a topic growing for the last few years. And Andrew Yang is proposing to give every American adult, everyone above the age of 18, which is about 250 million Americans. Jesus. I don't want to lose my firepower to these things. Anyway, Yang wants to give every American adult $1,000 a month. For nothing. $1,000 a month in cash. That was easy. So think about that. It's 250 million Americans, 1,000 a month. That's what is that? $250 billion a month. These people are given. That's what, $3 trillion a year in spending. And now he proposes paying for this with value-added taxes, which is just a fancy way of saying sales tax, which are popular in Europe, like places like Denmark and Sweden. Value-added taxes. And a bunch of other proposals based on projections he's making. Value-added taxes. So that means he's just going to artificially raise the price of everything. So say the value-added tax is like 25%, then instead of getting $10,000 a month, and you're essentially getting $7,500 a month because, hey, everything you're buying costs 25% more. I mean, this is just basic math. But I think first we got to dispel with this notion that it's the responsibility of government to run and manage the economy. It's a huge misconception. Where in the Constitution does it say that the government is supposed to manage the economy? I noticed that Stephen Colbert made this error recently. He said in a tweet that he doesn't want Howard Schultz being the president because, you know, you go into a Starbucks bathroom, why would you want to put that guy in charge of everything? And I'm like, where in the Constitution does it say that the executive is in charge of everything? That's nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the government's supposed to run everything, manage the economy, be in charge of everything, but that's how a lot of people see things, and that's why people like Andrew Yang and his universal basic income, that's why they have ground to stand on, because people think, they should manage the economy. They know what they're talking about. That was another thing. He's like, you go to his website, he says, we'll pay you for this because based on our projections, the economy will grow like this. This will happen. If you ever hear someone making promises based on projections, based on estimations, based on assumptions, that's someone you want to run far away from. What the heck are these things? Flying angry-ass caterpillars. Even in a free market, even in a completely laissez-faire economy, you don't know where things are going to go. You can't make predictions. Who in the 1850s thought that electricity would eventually be a thing, or automobiles would be a thing, or moving pictures would be a thing? Crap, in the 90s, mixed economy. Who thought that Amazon would become the largest company and most successful company in the world? Anyone in the 90s who predicted that coming should have bought millions of dollars worth of Amazon shares. It turns out there was only one guy who thought that, and his name is Boss Bezos, and that's why he's the richest person in the world. But yeah, even in you never know where the economy is going to go. You don't know what new products are going to be. You never know what's going to happen. So I always think it's reckless to say, oh, well, we project this will happen. We project the economy will go there. In the early 90s, a lot of people were predicting that the U.S. economy would have a severe crisis. And then, of course, the dot-com boom happened. The Cold War came to an end. There were a lot of new trade. There were more trading partners coming up, and so hey, the economy was good. Sometimes you just don't know, folks. Actually, all the time you don't know. You can probably make some fairly educated guesses, but overall, you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know. You never know, because remember, everyone thought Walmart was the big, bad, scary monopoly for decades. Walmart's taking over with their low prices, and they're a large company, and then now Amazon's the big, bad, scary monopoly. Of course, someone should ask Andrew Yang, what happens if your projections don't come out? What if you don't have the money to pay for this? They're just going to print more money, go the modern monetary theory route, just, hey, deficits don't matter, we can just print more money and devalue the currency. With all these normal-ass bosses. Another error I noticed with Andrew Yang, actually, so watching the whole Andrew Yang thing, he kept bringing up the reason why we need universal basic income is because we have, people don't have enough money anymore. And you look at, rising suicide rates, more people are depressed, the opioid crisis, less people are starting families now. And he just attributes this all to money. And this really gets to what a lot of pessimistic people think. They think everything is just about money. And if everyone had more money, then their problems would just magically go away, that everything would get better. You mentioned rising suicide rates. Oh, it's because people don't have money, they're anxious, they can't pay their bills. Okay, what about Anthony Bourdain? That guy had all the money he needed. That guy could get any work, any well-paying work he could get his hands on, and still decided to kill himself. Same with Robin Williams. Robin Williams made like tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of his life. Could still get work toward the end of his life, and hey, he killed himself. Lead singer of Linkin Park. So the point is I think there's a lot more to depression and suicide rates than money. Uh-oh, swamps. Oh my goodness. What the heck? Oh my god. Oh, I am a genius. What are these things? Gotta bounce all around? Let me guess, it's gonna send me back to the beginning. Yeah! Oh, yeah, of course. You totally would. That was a trick door. But Andrew Yang also operates on this fallacy that economics is driven by spending. And I hear a lot of people say this. Keynesian economists, I think, are big on this. Oh, spending. That's what drives an economy. I know the MMT people, Stephanie Kelton, says this. Oh, if people just had more money, they would just spend it. And we'd get economic growth, ignoring the law of supply and demand. Give me that boingy. What's in this thing? There. Huh. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is a challenging level. Thwomp Holocaust. What is in here? Oh, friggin' wizard! I hate the wizards! Oh my goodness. Probably gotta get that. Ba-bomb? Oh! It's one tricky level. Tell you what. Ba-bomb! Oh, yeah. Give me that. Oh! Checkpoint. So anyway, economics is driven by production. Think about going to the movies. If you have more money, you just don't just suddenly decide, oh, I'm just going to go to the movies, whatever. No, someone has to make a movie. Someone has to produce a movie first that you are willing to spend your hard-earned money on. Think about the fact that whatever job you ever get, you don't get paid until you produce stuff in exchange for the money. Think about sports. Think about Steph Curry. Do you think if you just give Steph Curry a little more money, he'll magically sink more three-pointers? Oh, that was all skill, no luck. Was I supposed to activate that door? Who knows? What the? Oh. I gotta... Oh. I want to keep that caterpillar up there. Maybe they just stay up there. They don't fall out. Or think about, like, Steve Jobs. You know, it wasn't like in 2006 a bunch of people suddenly had $600 more and they thought, you know what we really want to see? We want a touchscreen device that can make phone calls and connect to the internet. No, someone had to produce that iPhone first that eventually drove the demand for those produced goods. Oh, smoked him. And on top of that, you give everyone $1,000 a month, and suddenly that $1,000 becomes worth a lot less, especially if you're printing it, like the MMT folks think you just do. Or think about just being personally productive. Think if you cook for yourself at home as opposed to going out and spending money for people to cook for you. What the crap? Screw this level. But if you cook for yourself, yeah, you're not getting paid to cook that meal for you, but you are saving money by not going out to eat, and it is personally, it's still productive work. It's still personally satisfying. You cook for yourself. Let's try a regular Mario level. And especially considering that you're giving the $1,000 to people without them producing anything at first. Because it's just a given. You just get the $1,000. You're not producing anything. You're not doing any work. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. What do you know? Now think about it, if you just got $1,000 from just anyone. Say you win the lottery and you get $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, but you're not being productive with to get that in exchange. Now, one could say, yeah, but you're using that money and you're spending it on video games, you're spending it on cheeseburgers, you're spending it to get your oil changed. So yeah, the money's still going to someone in exchange for that productive work, but the middleman's essentially being cut out because someone's essentially paying you to not be productive. So someone was still taken out of the workforce for nothing. So that's less production. So if you just pay everyone $1,000 without them producing anything in return, you're going to have bad consequences because people will be less productive and the value of the currency will go down. Also, think about the fact that, what, 7 out of 10 people win the lottery go bankrupt? Watch a lot of these, you ever watch that documentary, that ESPN 30 for 30 called Broke? It's all about these professional athletes. This epidemic of professional athletes who go broke despite making millions of dollars throughout their career. It's like, well, they had all the money in the world. They had endorsements. God, why can't I get that mushroom? There we go. Alright, give me that mushroom. So the point is, just having money often doesn't solve people's problems. In fact, a lot of times it might make, having more money might make people worse. And look at Osama bin Laden. A lot of people think that, like, all the turmoil in the... There we go. In the Middle East is due partly to poverty. These people have no money, so they have nothing to do. They're unhappy, and so they just take out their frustration on the United States. It's like Osama bin Laden was the heir to a multimillionaire. That guy had money. That guy had went to good schools, relatively speaking. And yet, he still decided to be a mass murderer. What I'm trying to say is people are ultimately driven by ideas, not money or material good. Material things. Osama bin Laden could have built schools, he could have built factories, but no, he decided to be a terrorist. Can't blame that on lack of money. So to sum things up, universal basic income. Everyone gets $1,000 a month. That's going to be $3 trillion alone in spending. They plan to pay for this based on projections and estimations and hopes and dreams and value-added taxes, meaning the cost of everything's going up. And they think that... and it's in exchange for no production. You don't have to do any work for the money. What do you guys think of the value-added tax, or the universal basic income? Oh, did it again.